Did you know that 1 in every 4 people over the age of 70 will suffer from nerve disease in their feet and legs? Tingling that crawls up your ankles like ants beneath your skin. Burning that turns your toes into furnaces at 2 in the morning. Loss of sensation so complete that you step on a piece of broken glass and don't even know it until you see the blood. The feeling of walking on a bed of nails with every single step you take. Is this what your life has become? If so, I need you to hear me clearly right now. You are not alone. Not even close. I lived through that exact condition through my 70s and my 80s, and I understand it in a way that no textbook could ever teach. Here is what the doctors told me to do. Take the supplements they prescribed. Wear the compression stockings they recommended. Elevate my feet at night. Avoid long walks. Come back in 6 months. I followed every instruction to the letter, and none of it worked. The burning continued. The numbness spread. The sleepless nights piled up like unpaid bills. But then I discovered 6 simple exercises that helped me walk out of that condition, one deliberate step at a time. No gym membership, no expensive equipment, no physical therapist standing over you, just a sturdy chair, a kitchen towel, and 15 minutes of your day. That is all it takes. I am going to share every single one of those 6 exercises with you right now. And I am asking you to stay with me until the very end, because at the end of this video, I will reveal the real secret. The true reason that doctors keep asking me about. The actual reason I am still alive and walking at 102 years old. It is not what you think. Before we begin, I want you to do something for me. Leave your name and your age in the comments below. I mean that sincerely. I am not collecting data. I am not building a list. I genuinely want to make friends here. I want to know who you are, where you are in your journey, and what living well and living long means to you. Every single comment means something to me. Every name is a person I would like to imagine sitting across from me in a chair, doing these exercises alongside me. Please don't be shy. Now, let us talk about these 6 exercises. I want to walk you through each one carefully, because I believe something fundamental about healing. When you understand not just what to do, but why you are doing it, you actually follow through. And following through is everything. It is the difference between trying something for 2 days and doing something for 20 years. So I will explain the purpose behind every movement, not just the mechanics. Exercise 1, the seated march. This is where we begin, and it is the most important exercise of all 6. I want you to find a sturdy chair, not a soft couch that swallows you. Not a rocking chair that moves beneath you. Something with a firm, flat seat and 4 solid legs on the ground. Sit up straight, plant your back against the chair back if you need to at first, but resist the urge to slump or lean back lazily. Now begin lifting your knees one at a time, as if you are marching in place right there in your chair. Left knee up, right knee up. Slow and deliberate, not fast, not frantic. Marching pace, the speed of a person who has somewhere to be but is in no rush to get there. As you settle into the rhythm, add your arms. Swing the opposite arm forward with each knee lift, the way your body naturally does when you walk. Right arm with left knee, left arm with right knee. Let it feel familiar, because it is. It is walking, reimagined for a seated body. I know how simple this looks. I thought the same thing when I first tried it. I almost dismissed it. But here is what this exercise is actually doing beneath the surface. It is moving blood. And for neuropathy, for damaged nerves anywhere in your feet and legs, blood flow is not just helpful, it is essential. It is the difference between a nerve that slowly dies and a nerve that slowly heals. Your peripheral nerves, the long, fragile cables that run from your spinal cord all the way down through your legs and into the tips of your toes, need oxygen to survive and to repair themselves. When those nerves are damaged, they are already receiving less oxygen than they need. The damage creates a shortage, and the shortage deepens the damage. It is a vicious cycle. The seated march breaks that cycle. Your heart works a little harder. Your breathing picks up. Fresh, oxygen-rich blood begins moving down into exactly the places that need it most. The places that have been starved for years. When I first started, 3 minutes was all I could manage before I felt tired and a little foolish. That is completely fine. Start with 3 minutes. Add 1 minute every few days. Work your way up to 10 or 15 minutes per session. If you can do it twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon, you will feel a genuine difference within 2 weeks. Not cured, not healed entirely, but different. And different is the beginning of everything. And because you are seated the entire time, your risk of falling is zero. No fear of tripping. No need to grip anything for balance. Just you and your chair and your own legs, doing what legs were designed to do. Move blood, sustain life, feed the nerves that have been quietly asking for help. Exercise 2, the single leg stand. This exercise exists because of something called proprioception. It is a word most people have never heard, but it governs how you move through the world every single day. Proprioception is your body's ability to sense where it is in space, to know, without looking down, whether your foot is on flat ground or tilted sideways. To detect, in a fraction of a second, that you are starting to lose your balance so that your body can correct itself before you fall. Neuropathy damages this system severely. The nerves in your feet send scrambled, incomplete signals to your brain instead of clear ones. Your brain receives static instead of information, and the result of that, for people over 60, is falls. I have watched friends of mine go down from a single fall and never fully recover. Broken hips, hospital stays that turned into months of lost mobility, confidence that walked out the door and never came back. The look in a person's eyes when they realize they are afraid to stand up in their own kitchen. I am deeply aware, at my age, that I am not immune to that fate, and this exercise is a large part of why it has not happened to me. Stand behind your chair and rest both hands on the back of it. Shift your weight slowly onto your right foot and lift your left foot just 1 inch or 2 off the floor. Hold. The goal is 30 seconds on each leg, but if you can only manage 5 seconds or 10 seconds right now, begin there. There is no shame in 5 seconds. 5 seconds today becomes 10 seconds. Next week becomes 30 seconds next month. 3 rounds on each side. As 30 seconds it becomes comfortable, try taking one hand off the chair, then both hands. And when you are ready, and only when you are ready, close your eyes. I understand how frightening that sounds. I remember the first time I tried it, my hands were white-knuckled on that chair back. But closing your eyes removes your visual safety net and forces your body to rely entirely on those damaged nerve pathways in your feet. You are making them work. You are demanding that they do their job under real conditions. It is like rehabilitating a weak muscle by asking it to lift something heavy. Uncomfortable at first, even a little scary, but it gets stronger. I noticed a genuine difference within 2 weeks of doing this exercise every single morning. My stance felt more planted. My steps felt more certain. The ground felt more like ground and less like a trap. Exercise 3. Heel to toe rocks. Stand at your chair with your feet about shoulder width apart, one hand resting lightly on the back for support. Slowly shift your weight back onto your heels until your toes just barely lift off the floor. Hold for 1 second, then roll smoothly forward, all the way up onto your toes, lifting your heels as high as you comfortably can. Hold for 1 second, then back again. 15 repetitions, 2 sets, slow the whole way through. This is not about speed. It is not about endurance. It is about every single movement being completely deliberate and completely controlled. Smooth as a wave, rolling in and rolling out. What is happening while you do this? 3 things simultaneously. First, your calf muscles are contracting and relaxing in rhythm, which acts like a pump. It pushes blood through the veins in your lower legs and draws fresh blood down into your feet. More blood means more oxygen, and more oxygen means more fuel for your damaged nerves. Second, every single roll from heel to toe fires nerve receptors along the entire sole of your foot. Those receptors send signals up through your legs, through your spinal cord, and into your brain, saying, I am here, I can feel the floor, I am still part of this body, I am still connected. And with every session, those signals get a little clearer, a little louder, a little more like they used to be. Third, you are building the ankle stability and lower leg strength that directly prevents falls. Strong ankles do not roll. Stable ankles do not buckle. I think of this exercise as teaching my feet to speak clearly again, after years of neuropathy turning their voice into static. Every heel-to-toe rock is a syllable. Every set is a sentence. Over time, the conversation comes back. Exercise 4. Calf raises to the chair. Stand at your chair, both hands resting on the back. Slowly rise up onto your toes as high as you comfortably can. Hold at the top for a count of 2. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Then lower your heels slowly and gently back to the floor. Don't drop them. Lower them with intention for a count of 2. 12 repetitions, 2 sets, with about 30 seconds of rest between sets. This exercise builds on the rocking motion of exercise 3, but it adds something important that the rocks alone do not provide. Sustained load. Instead of rolling through a movement quickly, you are holding your full body weight up on your toes for 2 full seconds. That extended hold does 2 critical things. It builds real muscular strength in your calves, and strong calves matter enormously for walking stability, especially past 70s. Your calves are the engines that push you forward with every step. Weak calves mean shuffling steps, and shuffling steps mean tripping. It also sustains a proprioceptive signal up through your nervous system instead of just sending a quick pulse and moving on. Think of it as the difference between holding a phone call and sending a text message. The phone call keeps the line open. The signal keeps flowing. The connection stays warm. I also want to say something about patience here, because calf raises taught me this lesson personally. Do not rush to make an exercise difficult. When 12 repetitions finally feel easy, truly easy, not almost easy, not kind of easy, but genuinely easy, that is when you graduate to a single leg calf raise. Not before. Your body will tell you when it is ready. Learning to listen to that voice is itself part of getting better. Neuropathy taught me to hear my body again, after decades of ignoring it. Exercise 5. Towel scrunches. Sit down in your chair. Take a thin kitchen towel and lay it flat on the floor in front of you. Place your bare foot on the near edge of it. Now, using only your toes, scrunch the towel toward you. Spread your toes wide. Grab the fabric, squeeze, pull. Spread again. Grab, squeeze, pull. 10 times on each foot. 2 sets. The first time I tried this, my toes barely responded. They felt completely asleep, like they belonged to someone else. I was sending the signal from my brain and almost nothing was answering down below. I sat there scrunching at a towel that barely moved, and I felt a wave of frustration so strong I nearly quit. And that is the entire point of this exercise. That frustrating, uncooperative feeling is the gap that neuropathy has created between your brain and those small, critical muscles in your feet. Every time you attempt to scrunch that towel, even when your toes hardly move, even when it feels pointless, you are firing signals down damaged pathways and asking them to respond. You are lighting up a road that has gone dark. You are knocking on a door that has been closed for years. Session by session, something begins to shift. The connection gets cleaner. The toes start responding more readily. The towel starts moving. And the day you realize you can pick up a marble off the floor with your toes, that is a day worth celebrating. I cried the first time I did it. I am not ashamed to say that. The advanced version of this exercise is exactly that. Small objects, marbles, pencils, coins. Move them from one small pile to another using only your toes. Fine motor control for your feet. It sounds minor. It sounds like a party trick. For a person who has lived with neuropathy, it is anything but minor. It is proof that the line between your brain and your feet is still there, still working, still capable of repair. Exercise 6. Ankle circles and the alphabet. Sit comfortably and lift one foot slightly off the floor. Rotate your ankle in a slow, wide circle, 10 times in one direction, then 10 times the other way. Really use the full range of motion. Feel every degree of that rotation. Don't cheat the circle. Make it as round and as wide as your ankle will allow. Then, and this is the part I genuinely look forward to every single morning, use the tip of your big toe to write the alphabet in the air. ABC slowly and deliberately, all the way to Z. Draw each letter as if you are painting it on a canvas that only you can see. Every different letter requires your ankle and lower leg muscles to work from a different angle, which means you are stimulating nerve and muscle pathways across dozens of different directions in a single short exercise. It is the most complete range of motion movement I know of for the lower leg. I have done this for years. Some mornings my ankle moves freely through every letter, A to Z, without a single hitch, and I feel well. I feel like my body is cooperating. Other mornings I feel stiffness around the letter G or the letter M, a small resistance, a subtle catch, and I know it is a day to move gently. Not to push, not to force, just to move through the stiffness with patience and let it warm up on its own terms. That kind of body awareness, the ability to read your own condition and respond accordingly, that is something neuropathy tries to take from you. It tries to sever the conversation between you and your own body. These exercises give that conversation back. Now let me put the full routine together for you so it is crystal clear. Begin with the seated march for 5 to 10 minutes. This is your cardio foundation, your blood flow, your warm-up. Then move to the single leg stand and heel to toe rocks, which together take about 4 minutes, and address your balance and proprioception. Then close with calf raises, towel scrunches, and ankle circles with the alphabet, another 4 to 5 minutes for your feet and lower legs. Total time, 15 minutes. You can do this every morning before breakfast. You can do it while the coffee brews. You can do it in your bedroom in your pajamas. There is no excuse that 15 minutes cannot overcome. 3 rules that will make or break this for you. First, start at half. If I say 12 repetitions, you do 6. If I say 30 seconds, you start with 10. Nerves do not respond well to being hard pushed. They are not muscles. You cannot force them into shape. They respond to being approached gradually and consistently, with patience and repetition. Treat them like a skittish animal you are trying to befriend. Slow, steady, non-threatening. Second, every single day. 15 minutes daily will do more for you than an hour once a week. Consistency is the medicine here, not intensity. Nerve healing is slow and steady, and it requires steady effort to keep moving in the right direction. Missing a day is fine. Missing a week is not. Third, always check your feet after every session. Look for redness, blisters, any small cuts or sore spots. When feeling in your feet is impaired, damage can happen without pain warning you. You could scrape your toe on the towel and not feel it. 1 minute of looking protects everything you have worked for. Check your feet the way you would check a child's feet. With care, with attention, with love. Now, I promised you a secret, and I keep my promises. When people find out how old I am, they reach for their phones before I have even finished my sentence. They want to write down what I eat, what supplements I take, what time I wake up, how much water I drink, whether I meditate, whether I do yoga. They are already searching for the thing they can buy, or order online, or schedule into their routine. And I understand that completely. I spent the better part of 70 years doing exactly the same thing, chasing the next thing that would finally make me well. But the honest answer, the real answer, the answer that most people are not ready to hear, is free. It costs absolutely nothing. You cannot order it. You cannot swallow it. You cannot schedule it. The secret is the soul. I know how that sounds. I know some of you are already rolling your eyes or reaching for the skip button, but stay with me, because I am not speaking about religion, and I am not speaking about anything mystical or supernatural. I am speaking about something that science has been demonstrating for decades, and that most of us still do not fully believe in our bones. Research has shown, in study after study after study, that illness is approximately 70% mental and 30% physical. 70%. The quality of your inner life, the emotional weight you carry, the thoughts you return to again and again and again, like a tongue pressing against a sore tooth. The feelings that have been living in your body for years, for decades, that you have never fully expressed or released. That is not separate from your physical health. It is your fire common. I lived the first 60 or 70. I never crossed certain lines. I kept things civil. I kept things proper. I was the kind of person people described as nice. But my mind never stopped crossing those lines. I lived in a constant low-grade state of dissatisfaction. With my circumstances, with the people around me, with the gap between how I believed life should have gone and how it had actually gone. I kept waiting for things to arrange themselves in a way I could finally accept. I kept waiting for the apology that never came, the recognition that never arrived. The version of my all of that dissatisfaction, it was only much later, after Anseveni. And when I 11, I am not shay begin releasing them. Not all at 11. That's not how it works either. You cannot empty a lifetime of accumulated emotional weight in a single afternoon. But begin. Start with one. One old wound you have been keeping alive longer than it deserves. One person you have been silently punishing with your resentment, who probably does not even know it, while you have been paying the price every single day. One expectation you have been clutching like a fist around a stone, and open your hand and let it fall. That is where healing starts. And nothing else I could tell you would matter more than that. Not the exercises, not the supplements, not the diet, nothing. That is the thumb. Thank you, a good heart is better than all the heads in the world.